Hey guys, my name is Andrew, and today I'm here with Sanad. He is a student that recently enrolled into our house flipping program, and we are standing in front of his latest flip project. Very quickly, I want to give context to the viewers so that they understand what it is we're dealing with here. Tell me a little bit about this property. How much did you pick this property up for?
It's $470,000.
$470,000, all right. And what was it listed for?
It was listed for $499, but the listing agent said they're not going to go below $550. Back and forth. We ended up securing the property at $470. Multiple selling points for this house. Biggest one is the size, 5-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. There's also a separate entrance to the basement. They could rent it out separately. And also there's a huge park for kids just in front of the house, so that also played a big role.
And these are the things that when we're thinking about the audience that we eventually want to sell it to, these are all the things that matter. So let's talk a little bit about the area. We're on the east side of Hamilton right now, and as you can see from this area, there are a lot of very nice amenities nearby. I can see that there's good highway access. You got the Red Hill, you got the QEW, and you have these nice townhouses here with a park right in front. These obviously are positive things. And how many properties did you have to see before you decided on this one?
I would say about 25.
25 properties. How many properties did you have to make offers on?
We made offers on 4.
4 properties before you found this one. And were you haggling on all of them really strong?
Yeah, we haggled on all of them. All of them went above expectations. We knew exactly what our limitations are according to our calculations.
Perfect.
But this one made perfect sense.
So what is your projected ARV on this, and how much are you going to spend to renovate it?
The projected ARV is $650,000.
650.
We estimated about $100,000 to do it, but we ended up securing the contractor for $70,000.
$70,000 to do the work, and you have budgeted $100,000, which means you have a $30,000 room for cushion. Have you also budgeted a carrying cost in there?
Yeah, everything's included in the calculation.
Did you go with a private lender or a traditional lender?
Traditional lender.
Okay, so who are you with and what were the terms like?
So it's a CMHC loan. It's a 5% down payment.
Okay, 5% down.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're like what, less than $25,000 to buy this?
Exactly. Makes a huge difference since I'm a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, $25,000 down, but that is also going to add a cost. So for those of you that don't know, when you have CMHC insurance, they're going to be charging you a 4% onto the mortgage tack on, and that you're going to have to pay out when you sell it. So when you do sell the property, you're going to need to pay that. When you sell, is there any penalty?
There's a penalty, 3 months.
3 months interest, right? What is your monthly mortgage payment?
$2,900.
Okay, so you're looking at about $8,000 in penalty if you have to sell the property.
Yeah.
So we have a $650,000 ARV, which by my calculation, even looking at the area, what finished properties are selling for, do you think that's a little conservative?
It's a little bit conservative.
Okay,
That's
so
how we play it.
I think that looks out. So we're gonna run some numbers on the screen and what it is that we think is gonna happen, so we know what we can make on a conservative level, and then at the end of this, we're gonna see what we make after all is said and done. So as we said, this property is gonna have 2-unit potential. We just need to make sure to map everything out, make adjustments as we go, and see that the renovation goes smoothly. So Sanat, let's go take a look at the property. The first thing that we see here when we walk in, it obviously has nice open space, and it's kind of annoying when you buy a place that you see and you have to take down walls, but here we don't need to take down any walls, right?
Exactly.
Tell me about the main things that you want to address here when you look at a place like this.
So the main things, we're going to change the flooring. It's going to be vinyl flooring throughout.
What was here before?
Carpet.
So easy tear out.
Easy tear out.
Perfect. All
We
right.
removed the popcorn ceiling. We're going to apply pot lights throughout. We're going to paint the interior and the exterior. We're going to upgrade 2 bathrooms and 1 kitchen and add 1 kitchen in the basement.
So we're keeping it strictly superficial cosmetic makeover, right?
Exactly.
Some of the windows I noticed, this is what we call like medium condition. They're not brand new, but they're not old either. They look pretty good. And if we're gonna look at some of the neighbors' properties, you'll see that as long as they can be kept clean and looking in pretty good condition, I think we can preserve some of them. It always goes to the budget first and then deciding on the work, not work first and then figure out where to get the money. And we have a kitchen and bath in the back. And this is actually perfect because this is the layout that you want. Which wall is the kitchen going on? This one or
So
this
the kitchen is going on this wall. There's going to be the sink under the window.
Yeah.
It's going to be a full kitchen. The fridge is going to go on this wall over here.
Okay.
And the oven is going to go in the corner.
Okay, so fridge right there.
Yeah.
This window is good. You see, and this makes sense for a sink. When you have the windows that low, you can't even put counter. It kind of like messes up your kitchen space because with kitchens, you want wall continuity. Are you going to keep the stove over there as well?
Yep.
Okay, and that's because of the vents there, right?
Because of the vents, exactly.
Yeah, it does make things a lot easier when you
It's
keep
the
everything
original layout.
in the same place, right? You don't have to move anything. It's the reallocating of everything that starts to make things really expensive, right? But this is easy to work with. A new drywall, plaster, cleanup, and we're just trying to keep things simple. Upstairs, this is very surprising. There is a lot of rooms up here, and they're interesting rooms. This room being purple, obviously we're gonna be painting this. What do you think? Do you think these are a little too small, or is it just right?
It's the biggest selling point with this house. I believe it's the size of it. There's going to be 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Well, the rooms are a little bit on the smaller end, but I believe they're okay in size.
Yeah. You know what? This is the thing, is that today, in today's economy, people actually need rooms more than they need like nicer things. Like somebody might come in here and look at this room, and then there's the other room over there and say, I'm going to knock down this wall and make this one big room. But do people really today need giant rooms, or do they need more rooms? This obviously would be ideal for like a larger family, having kids, each of them taking one room, offering them the space they need. I think that keeping them separate is the best way to go. The windows are in good condition. We just need to paint it, upgrade some of the electrical stuff, maybe a new sconce there.
We're gonna do pot lights.
You're gonna do pot lights in here, great,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have 4 bedrooms up here, and you can see even the way that previous people, these were obviously a lot of kids' rooms, right? This is amazing. Somebody drew this. This is all hand done. Pot lights, especially in this ceiling height, because here, this is actually, you can touch all the ceilings. So adding a low profile light to the ceiling will give the place a little more depth, and not going for dark colors will open the place up a lot. Even these windows, I know they look like they're a little bit older, but the minute you put nice new trim around it, it will feel so much newer. All the electricals are going to be newer. Walls are walls, right? And as long as you paint them nicely, fix some things, it'll be so much better. In my experience, one of the rooms should always be factored into the wife's consideration, meaning storage is very important. This unit, as an enclosed unit, right now has 1 washroom, and you have to weigh in the pros and cons as to whether that is enough. Because even a 2-piece would be substantial.
One of the biggest selling points as well is that this house had a separate entrance. So we could rent out the second unit separately, which makes a great investment option just in case you want to cover part of the mortgage. The ceiling is actually high, which also played a big role. The same changes throughout. We're going to do the vinyl flooring, pot lights again, but this time we're going to do a little bit of electrical plumbing. So we're going to install a kitchen, most probably in that corner. We're just waiting for the layouts to come out.
And down here there is obviously a little bit more work, but at least the work is clean. The windows, these windows we can't get away from. These
can't get away from.
This is just glass. We'll hardly even call them windows, right? But kitchen is going here because there's a washroom right there, right?
Exactly.
So you want to keep the kitchen and the washroom together to make the plumbing relatively simple. There is a bit of a dog smell down here, right? So there was carpet down here as well?
There was carpet, and there was a huge dog living here, so it's a foul smell, definitely.
Yeah, no, I never understand why anybody ever puts carpet in the basement, because it's just susceptible. You can tell, even though that it doesn't seem like there's any water damage, there's always a little bit of moisture, and then the carpet is always going to retain some of it, you know, so it's always hard to keep things feeling dry. Great living space, great spot for the kitchen. That was obviously there because they were hanging a TV.
Yeah, there was a TV.
Is that still where you want to keep the TV?
After adding the kitchen in the corner, maybe putting a couch here and the TV is on the other wall.
Okay, perfect.
It works as well.
Something that I always like to do, if the place is small and we want to build it with some intention, and we're doing electrical anyway, I always like to fish an electrical line to go up so that there's a wall outlet higher up, wherever the TV is supposed to be mounted. When we're doing outlets, it's actually not very troublesome to add a few more. Honestly, electrical panels, like we were discussing, you can always upgrade it at some point. So if you decide you want to do it, because it's here on the wall, they'll be able to upgrade it to a 200 amp service at a later time if you decide and if you need to. But for the most part, if you're able to operate this under the current situation, keep it, right? If we can. We have washroom here, and you see they have this low bulk here. And that's obviously for the ductwork. It continues over there. In the shower, what do you want to put here?
A standing shower here.
Yeah.
With a glass door, top tiles, everything.
So here's the challenge here. If you're going to put even a acrylic shower base, or you're going to do tile, you're going to end up raising the floor this much, right? Which I don't have that much space. And then you need a shower head. So right now, anybody who is tall won't be able to shower here.
Sure.
So whoever this is getting rented to is going to be limited. And then this would be the bedroom.
Spacious bedroom, not bad.
Yeah, it's funny. This one's actually bigger than some of the ones upstairs.
Yeah.
So in here, are you doing pot lights?
Pot lights, painting, vinyl.
The answer is always the same for
Lipstick
everyone.
renovation.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about vegetation behind this wall. Is this going to be a problem? The contractor is saying that you need to take this out. The roots might hurt
those things are really aggressive weeds, and they will grow into trees. Those are very invasive. and they will put holes into your foundation. You need to get rid of that like as soon as possible. You can either do a lot of weed killer, it's kind of expensive, or you can do a salt mix. So right by the foundation of your house, if you salt it, nothing will grow. I don't know if you have a lot of Bell lines, but you see there's all like the cable stuff. If you call Bell, they will come and remove all of their lines. And if you just tell them that, hey, I'm the owner of this property, there's a lot of Bell service lines here with all these wires that make it ugly, can you remove them all?
But they're not needed?
Anytime somebody moves in and they need cable, they're installing a new line. What you see sometimes is with rental property, every time there's a tenant, they have a new line. So eventually rental properties over the course of years, they have like 20 different Bell lines. When you paint those outside, do you know what color you're painting?
Gray?
Okay, dark, right?
Yeah.
Because the windows are white, I usually like to go for white because it's easier and you're not gonna see as many inconsistencies, but you have to make sure that it contrasts nicely with whatever color you're going on the exterior.
Okay.
If, let's say, you decide you have to hold the property for a little bit and you had to rent it out, what do you think you can get for the main floor with the upstairs?
So the main floor, if you're looking at a 4-bedroom, it's gonna be around 22 to 2,400.
We rent out 3 bedrooms for about 2,200 plus utilities.
Okay.
So I feel like you can do about 25. You know, or so. So if you can do those numbers, all inclusive, I think you can do that no problem for 4 bedrooms. And you're gonna have updated it. This is gonna be nicer than a lot of apartments that are currently available on the market. And downstairs, you're gonna have a very comfortable 1-bedroom apartment. What would you expect for that type?
11, 1,200.
11 or 1,200?
Yeah.
I think you're seriously underestimating the rents here. Yeah. A 1-bedroom, the cheapest 1-bedroom I see that is newly renovated today on the main floor is going for about 1,700.
Okay.
A basement will still rent for 1,500.
This one is spacious.
This one's spacious, really spacious. It has laundry. You're gonna still have parking, right?
Yes.
Even for the basement. Honestly, this house should be able to generate in and around $4,000 a month.
The mortgage is 2,900 on the house.
Well, I mean, utilities, taxes, and insurance is gonna be about $1,000 though. Breaking even on a property like this in order to carry is a good thing. And if you're able to push the rents even a little bit higher, any of that is gravy. Because with the money that you're gonna make on this, it's really on the sale. So all in all, it looks like we have a ton of options here and a lot of good space to work with. The work is actually relatively simple, straightforward, at least we hope so. So we're gonna be following up for a part 2 where we're gonna show you all the work that was done, how much it cost, how it worked out, and what the property is selling for, which is the most important thing. So we're gonna talk about that. So Sanat, I'm really excited to see how this project is gonna turn out. What are you estimating for time frame? How long is all this gonna take you?
It should be around 6 to 7 weeks.
I think that's a healthy time frame. Sometimes things go a little bit over, but we're gonna check in 6 to 7 weeks, see how you're doing, and hopefully see how the sale process goes too.
Let's do it.